Every factory floor is a data goldmine. The problem is that most of that data never makes it off the factory floor itself. It sits trapped in PLCs, locked behind proprietary protocols, and scattered across machines that were never really meant to talk to each other in the first place. And because of that, the value just sits there. Modern factory enablement is about getting that gold out, turning a floor of disconnected machines into an intelligent, capable, and connected system. Hey there, my name is Christopher Sandoval. I'm the Developer Relations Advocate here at FlowFuse. And today we're going to turn your factory into something that works for you and not against you. What enablement actually means. Let's make something clear right from the start. Factory enablement is a term that gets thrown around a lot, and it usually comes wrapped in a ton of buzzwords. Digital transformation, Industry 4.0, smart manufacturing, pick your favorite. But strip the jargon away and it comes down to 4 simple questions. Can you connect to your equipment? Can you see what's happening? Can you act upon it? And can you do all of that without rebuilding everything every time something changes? Most factories get stuck on question 1. They've got machines from 5 different vendors, 3 different decades, and none of them speak the same language. So before you can do anything clever with AI or analytics, you have to solve that first problem. So let's start that process with FlowFuse. Connect anything. FlowFuse is a uniquely powerful way to connect all sorts of devices. Because it's powered by Node-RED, you're not locked into one vendor's idea of how your factory should work. You can connect to Modbus, OPC UA, MQTT, Siemens S7, whatever you've got. A legacy PLC from 2004 sitting right next to a brand new Siemens device? Yeah, you can get both connected the same way. And if there's not an inbuilt connector for what you're trying to do, our collection of over 5,000 community nodes probably has your solution already built out. You can connect alongside whatever is already running. There's no downtime, no forklift upgrade, no betting the whole operation on a migration that takes 18 months. If you have to add a new vibration sensor, it's 30 seconds to wire into a flow. And if you need to pull readings off a machine that's been running untouched since before the engineer who installed it retired, well, FlowFuse can talk to that. And that's the foundation. If you get the data flowing from day one, then almost anything is possible. See everything. Now, once the data is moving, you need to see it. And not in a spreadsheet that somebody pulls every Friday. You need to see it in real time so you can make real-time decisions. FlowFuse gives you a ton of tools to do exactly that. The most obvious one is Dashboard 2.0. FlowFuse's dashboard solution lets you build that view without a front-end team to support it. Live machine status, throughput, downtime, quality metrics, whatever your operation runs on can be used to facilitate this dashboard. The operator on the floor can see the same truth as the plant manager in the office and the executive looking at the numbers from headquarters. You also have the ability to deploy things like the debug node, so you can see not only what's happening with your data, but where the errors are occurring and for what reason. You can get context from every machine that FlowFuse is installed on, you can get device metrics, you can even get as granular as the CPU and RAM usage of your FlowFuse instances. In essence, FlowFuse says, hey, let me give you all the metrics and you decide what is most useful. And that shared truth, that universal data layer, that's the point. When everyone's looking at the same live picture, you stop disagreeing. And when you're no longer arguing about what the data is saying, then you can get to using that data for actual value. Deploy at the edge, manage from anywhere. Now here's where a lot of platforms fall apart. They give you one plane, one methodology to deploy in, and then just say, well, that's good enough. It's a cloud native solution. It's AI first. But what all of that means is that it's their solution, not yours. FlowFuse allows you to manage the entire fleet from a single place in the way that you choose to manage it. You can build your flows once and then deploy it to every site that needs it, regardless of the device. You can have devices at the edge, you can have devices in the cloud, you can have a mixture. And with FlowFuse, you get a ton of things that software teams have had for years that the factory floor just usually doesn't have today. Things like version control, so you can see exactly what changed and roll it back if you have to. Role-based access control, so the right people have the right permissions without anyone juggling a spreadsheet of who can touch what. Snapshots, audit trails, safe deployments. It's an entire system that is built to allow you to deploy and run exactly where you need, how you need, and in what form and function you desire. And all of this is the difference between a clever prototype and something that works at scale in operational reality. Add the intelligence. So now you've connected all of your equipment. You can see your data, you can extract your data, you can see how all of your systems are working together. And this is a critical point where AI stops being a buzzword and starts being an actually legitimately useful solution. But here's the thing about most industrial AI. These solutions are generalized implementations for specialized problems. Industrial problems are really unique. And you don't need a model whose primary claim to fame is generating images of Will Smith eating spaghetti to be the one that's giving you all of your industrial and operational intelligence. FlowFuse Expert changes the game fundamentally. You see, FlowFuse Expert isn't a generalized solution. It's a specialized solution that's trained on the entire body of FlowFuse documentation and Node-RED community knowledge. It understands your operation, your flows, your installed nodes, your live data, and your environment in real time. It works with the context of all of your nodes, all of your debug logs, all of your systems, and all of the documentation that FlowFuse provides to support all of those elements. So when you ask it to generate a flow to connect a machine, or to transform a data stream, to build a dashboard, or extract some understanding, to generate a shift handoff report, it's working from operational reality and not a generic template. If you have to implement a new system, just describe what you need in plain language and it can build that. If you need to know the vibration data across an entire month of data, instead of feeding it to a system that might hallucinate information, you can feed it to a system that understands exactly what that information means in context and then give you an actual useful report. And because we've built our AI solution with a model context protocol layer, it connects directly to your machines, directly to your databases, and directly to your brokers. It knows your constraints, your protocols, your governance rules, everything. It's not an assistant that's bolted onto the side. It's an intelligence that lives inside your operation where all of this is actually happening. And that is the cap on this entire process. You connect everything, you collect all the data, you fully transform it and understand what that transformation even looks like, and then you finally extract intelligence. You no longer have a dumb factory doing smart things. You have a hyper-intelligent ecosystem built within your intelligent factory. The future is enabled. So here's the simple truth. A modern factory isn't just one product or one feature. It's a chain of connected systems. And using that system to its full potential requires a certain elegance. It requires a solution that is built for form and function. It requires something that is specialized, that is trained, that is understandable and contextually aligned with what you're trying to do. In other words, it requires a tool that is built for the form and function, not some generic one-size-fits-all LLM. So the question isn't whether or not to modernize your factory. Your competition is already doing that. The question is, how do you do it better? And the answer is that you do it with FlowFuse. We hope you liked this video. If you did, please consider giving us a like, comment, or subscribe. And if this piqued your interest in FlowFuse, head on over to flowfuse.com to start your free 14-day trial. This has been Christopher Sandoval. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.